So here's my hypothetical situation. I'm in a new hunting location, never been here before, got separated from my buddy, and the sun has already set and things are getting bad. It's supposed to get colder tonight. It's also supposed to start raining, and I have no idea where I'm at. I'm lost. Am I prepared? And that's the number one rule of being a Boy Scout, is to always be prepared. So here in my pack, cargo pocket here, I got something quick and simple that you can put together yourself, where you can pay me 15 bucks and I'll put it together for you and send it to you. Inside here is a little potato tin to collect water with, whether it be rainwater or stream water, and to help create a fire to boil water with. We've got there's a space blanket inside of there, and we'll open all this stuff up here just a little bit. There's a chai tea bag inside of there to, once you get that water boiling, get it hot, have something to drink on to kind of warm your body up. Also, you'll find a rain poncho to cover your body with. There is a lady's feminine pad there that can be used either as a sterile pad there in case you get a wound, or you can also fluff it up and use it as a fire starter as well. There's the tea packet I was telling you about. And I've also included a cotton ball, which is covered in Vaseline. It's inside some aluminum foil there. So I'll open it up for you. Open it up, and it's got a cotton ball with the Vaseline on it. Basically, it's like a homemade candle, and that'll burn for a good 15-20 minutes. Also inside there is a disposable lighter to help get your fire started. Knowing that I am lost now, I've made the decision it's time to go ahead and find a place where I'm going to lay down for the night, especially knowing that I'm going to get rain. Or there might be a situation where you're hurt, you done twisted an ankle, and your phone's done died, and you're stuck, and you've got a shelter in place, and you can't move around. Do you have something on your body that will protect you from the elements? And we're going to cover that now. Right there, I'm going to use this tree as my base to lean back against. I can't lay directly on the floor because I won't have any insulation on the ground. So I'm going to put some pine, also some cedar branches on there to use as insulation to keep my butt up off the ground. Everything is soaking wet. So I've laid some cedar and some pine down on the ground for me to sit on, like I said, just to get my butt up off the ground so it doesn't suck the warmth out of my body. So I'm going to end up just sitting on that, and I got that tree there, and lay up against it to keep myself warm. And I'll show you how the 2-minute shelter works. So again, basically the 2-minute shelter is using a space blanket and the overhead poncho to throw over me to protect me from the elements. It's a last resort, last ditch effort if I didn't have time to make a shelter or I'm hurt and I got a shelter in place. And this is the 2-minute shelter, and I'm just basically sheltering in place at this point. Something great to have, especially if you get hurt and you can't move around, to build yourself a better shelter. This is quick, down and dirty, especially when you can't see and you didn't have a flashlight. Something you can put together real quick. And believe it or not, I'm actually getting warm right now. Between the poncho and the reflective blanket, I'm actually getting warm. To the point to where I want to take it off because it's going to make me start sweating. And that's a bad thing too, you don't want to start sweating. So basically I'll kind of maybe take the space blanket off and keep the poncho on if it starts raining. If it starts getting cold, then put the space blanket back on up underneath it. And I've got the cedar branches up underneath me and the pine to keep my butt up off the ground. And this is basically the 2-minute shelter that I use to carry in my cargo pocket, because you never know when you're going to get lost. Well, this right here, it's all wet, soaking wet. It's all wet. But I did pull it out from the ground. It's wet here as well. But I did find this one little small spot that's dry, and that's where I'm going to try and make my fire on top of that.
Also was able to gather some cedar shavings. Also found a big, nice chunk of fat wood that I'll be scraping off of, and some kindling off some cedar. It's all wet. Cedar shavings is wet, but hopefully once I get this fire started, they'll dry it off. Also, I can use aluminum foil as part of the dry area to start my fire. And that's it right there. Cool thing about this too is once I get this thing lit, again, you get a disposable lighter. Comes in there with your small little survival kit you got in your pocket. Boom. I can carry this around, walk around with it temporarily as a candle, so I can see where I'm going, but I don't want to use up all my flame just for that. I can also use this tree bark as a fire reflector as well to bounce the heat back towards me. This cedar bark right here is wet, so I'm going to put this stuff right next to it to help it dry out. And it's raining. Gotta keep my flame going. Get my shelter because it's starting to come on down.
Feel pretty warm as well. Feel warm and comfortable. Glad I got that fire started. So make sure you got a survival kit in your cargo pocket.